Hey there, welcome to C&T Collectibles. I am C. Hope you're doing very, very well. And this is your sports card chart blast, where we look at the price action of some of our favorite collectibles. And if you do like this content, you find value in it, or you just find it entertaining, or you just like my funny hair or whatever, please consider dropping a like and a subscribe. Show a little love here and keep it going. All right, start off as always with Mike Trout in a PSA 10. Nobody is going to be worth more than Mike Trout in the modern era here. You're not going to pay more for that, at least, unless he never plays again. Then you can see some players surpass him. But for now, he's going to be the leader, and as he goes, so goes the rest of the market. And he's still in this sideways compression here. So really respecting the ranges here. So one of these days, I promise, one of these days we'll get a move one way or another, and then we can. Then we can start looking at some of the lower cards and say, all right, there's room for these guys to come up, or if he's going to go down, then it's going to compress those prices and drive them down further. So it is important to watch this for the overall direction of the market. The Bowman Chrome draft base in the PSA 10, a lot of sideways action as well, kind of the bottom of the range coming up. So there might be a little bit more upside room to this one. It's a less expensive card. And so people may not want to drop $3,000 on the PSA 10. So you're seeing the 9s kind of tick up, and some of the alternate ones get a little bit of a lift as well. As again, the market's trying to figure things out, and I think a lot of people are just not willing to risk high dollar amounts. Again, you're seeing some of the lower end cards or PSA 9 lower graded versions of higher end cards do pretty well, while those 10s are just trying to figure out where they're going. Again, I think people are just they want to dip a toe back in, but they're not going to expose themselves too much here. Bryce Harper. Actually, I want to pull something up here, and he's overtaken for Vegas. He's overtaken the lead for the NL MVP over Fernando Tatis, and so you have Juan Soto just behind Tatis, and then you've got some guys that probably don't have a shot. Muncy, Turner, Austin Riley behind them, and I think they should get consideration. But it is Harper and Tatis, and the way Harper's gone the second half of the season, he's pulled ahead here. So this is his front leg up. Momentum looks good on this one here. Got decent support here. We had our breakdown, looked for $90, going just a little bit lower than that, and now getting back up to those all-time highs. This is an area where selling has taken place, and so you've got a lot of people here that bought and then saw their investment. Now, if they're buying for fun and put it away, then don't have to worry about them. But if they're buying to make money, they got wrecked on the way down, and they may see this as an opportunity. Okay, I'm even. I'm gonna get my money back here. So you may see some selling in this area. But if it is able to stay in here and get some decent number of transactions and kind of break out, then what you'll see is a lot of people start chasing. So right now, again, you're getting into an area where there's been selling in the past, and these people are about to make themselves whole, and so you could see some selling come back in again. But again, that MVP announcement could push this up right now. But in the near term, your risk reward sets up a bit unfavorably. Fernando Tatis. I thought I had another Bryce Harper in there, but apparently not. Let me just say this: BGS 9.5s, pretty decent discount on some of these, especially the screaming version. Spoiler alert for future mail day. So, all right, Fernando Tatis 2019 base card in a PSA 10 at kind of your last chance support here. So, falling out of the MVP race. Well, he's not out of the MVP race, but falling out of first place in the MVP race, and the Padres aren't going anywhere in the playoffs most likely. If we can't get some buyers to step in here, and this is a high population, you need a lot of buyers to step in here to overwhelm all these people that are underwater. You could see this as a sub $100 card, which would be kind of crazy if it got down to $70-$80. Then I think a ton of people would get on board with it. But you're at pretty critical support right here. So we'll see if the Bulls, breaking out of this, you had this consolidation that typically leads to upside breakouts, but not always. And now that you're on the bottom side of that one, breaking down, this is kind of your last chance, because there wasn't a whole lot of buying in here. Market does have memory. There aren't a lot of people that remember this price, and so you could see this slice right through that and come into that $100 level, and then it could really start to chop around as these people start to freak out. So the update Chrome, kind of the same thing here. It's a lesser dollar card. It's a nice option. It's a lot of people prefer it, but you're at the bottom of the range here. So if you're aggressive, this is kind of where you buy that card. And so Again, you have buys in this area in the past here, and a decent amount of buying in here, and this seems like risk reward sets up pretty favorably. But that base starts to get dragged down, then this could get hit as well. But as it stands right now, your risk reward sets up pretty favorably, and on the base card it sets up as well, as long as you have a really quick hook if it does break down any further. Once Soto moving up in that MVP race, I mean that second half of his season, right along with Bryce Harper, they've been out of their minds here. So downtrend is still intact. We had a purchase that brought it up to the top of the range here, and so we'll need a few more purchases to drive it out and sustain that. But got 125, 130, sitting at 143 right now. 125, 130. If you get another crack in there, that's probably a better price. But if you start to see more buying in here, then know that interest is picking up. And if you're looking for this card, then it is time. So the Chrome update, we are seeing a breakout of that downtrend here. So so this could be a harbinger of that regular base card. If the Chrome starts to bust out, then it could lead the way for the base card to go up as well. So I do favor a breakout. Who knows what, until it happens, we don't know for sure. But if the Chrome is able to sustain this, we had this attempt previously, but it was on one purchase and said, nice try, not buying that one. But we're getting a few purchases in this area here, so people are seeing this as a decent spot. And if it continues to grind up with the more purchases, then that'll drag that base up as well. So $250 right now. We'll see how that plays out, but again, he's with the second half of the season and his age and everything like that. It's speculation, but it's high-level speculation. People were going to pay that, and I don't blame them at all. All right, Vlad Guerrero, who is second in your AL. He's closed the gap quite a bit on Ohtani and the Vegas Lions, but he's still a relatively distant second place here. So this is the no number in a PSA 10 bottom of the range ripping, and to the there's some upside to the top of the range here now. The MVP talk, and with the playoffs coming up and the Blue Jays working their way in there for the time being, this is pretty close to the previous highs here. So sitting at 320, so it's pricey. There's no question about it. And selling is taking place here, but we could see a little bit of further upside. So it's thinning out just a little bit. So if you do get up in here, if it does get to new highs, you may want to ring the register a little bit here. But yeah, so we are at an area where there has been selling before, but again, there is a little bit of room on that one. So I don't know if I'd be buying into that at all. I'd be, I'd have my hand on the trigger to pull the trigger. Probably more likely if I was looking to do that one. So the pink refractor in a PSA 10. Also, they're not new highs or anything like that, but it's been respecting this range as well. So coming off the bottom of the range here, a lot of sideways action here. Right now it's in the middle, so there's some interest. If you want this card, again, always lower grade and alternate grading companies, you can get a little bit better deal if you don't want to pay that price. So an SGC9 will run you $100. So again, spoiler alert. So Shohei Ohtani PSA 10 base pitching. And this is the 2018 Topps Series 2, I think it is, or whatever. So uptrend is broken, and he's kind of falling into this range where there's been buying in the past here. So we'll see how this plays out, but for the most part, again, he's the favorite for the MVP, but the Angels are going to be playoff irrelevant, and so you can see how it's thinning out here. The interest is kind of waning a little bit, so it could get pushed around pretty good. Again, I think I would wait till like $100 if I was interested in that card. I mean, you may never get there, but I think that's where I would be looking at it at the bottom of this range. But for now, it's setting up where it could get a little bit of a pop on any sort of announcement, but in the off season may drag off a little bit here. So total speculation, I don't know. I'm just pulling that out. Just knowing how these things work, you typically get a retest and then a down, but it doesn't always work that way. But I've seen it enough where that's kind of how it goes. But we shall see. The update rookie debut in a PSA 10. Uptrend also broken here, so it's in a downtrend, but it's at the bottom end of its range here. So if you're looking for that card, could be worth a pretty decent pop again into the postseason announcements here. So his plays has come off a bit, but I think he's probably done enough for the MVP, though. Vlad is in the conversation, should be in the conversation. I'd probably give my vote to him, honestly, but I think he's done enough on both sides of the ball to get that award. Vegas believes so as well. So again, front of the range could see a pretty decent pop here. So we'll keep our eye on that one. Trey Turner, who is again Dodgers, pretty darn relevant in the postseason. He'll get some MVP talk. He won't get it or anything like that, but he's had a really, really good season, and he deserves to be in the conversation here. So it was a while ago that we looked at him, because there's not a lot of activity in this card, and so this was like $120. So that's the top of your range here, so look for some more towards the bottom, and you're getting more towards the bottom. So if that's a card you are looking at, then you're kind of in that area here. So Topps Chrome Luis Robert PSA10. He's playing pretty incredibly, and the White Sox are going to be relevant in the playoffs, at least for around here. So still in the bottom of the range here. It's just been a lot of sideways action, a lot of frustration here. So maybe we'll take some news and you can pop out. But for now, it's in a decent area for buying, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm pretty darn interested in that player. So Boba Chette, another young player that I like a lot here, continues his downtrend, top of the range coming off just a bit here. But again, in an area where there's been some buying. I mean, there was a lot of buying in here and it still broke lower, so nothing saying you can't continue to go lower, but that price is, I think, probably a little too attractive for people here, so you're kind of in that range, and we'll see what happens. If it gets down here, it could be just a quick move, but this is kind of your spot for it. And between those two guys, geez, who would we rather have? And so Luis Robert has been the outperformer. I mean, they've both been, horrible performers over the past 6 months, but Luis Robert has been the bigger outperformer. But with things getting counted to the bottom of the range of this relative price chart, up is LouBob, favoring LouBob, and down is favoring Boba Chette. So there's been some outperformance from Boba Chette as of late, but we're at the bottom of the range here, where maybe it's time to favor LouBob again on a breakout. So we'll keep our eye on that one. I'm probably not running this one again. Oh yeah, maybe I was saved it, so I could just add a couple numbers to it. But it may be time for LouBob to start outperforming if you're deciding between those two. Jose Ramirez, this will be like 4 out of the last 5 years that he's a top 5 MVP candidate. So playoff irrelevant for the Indians. Top of the range coming up just a little bit here, a little bit of a topping pattern. But if you get down to $50-$60, buy with both hands. So over the off season, you could see this thing drop down as he becomes a little bit more irrelevant, and welcome that opportunity. Mookie Betts, bottom of the range. So he's kind of leaked down, and he's just in this zone here. So whenever it gets down here, it gets picked up pretty quickly. So there was a quick move up to the top of the range, and that was sold quickly. Now you've got a quick move to the bottom of the range. So we'll see if it can't get some buying here. But currently sitting at $267. So sub 300 seems like a pretty attractive price here. So we'll see how that works out. But bottom of the range in the near term, at least for now. So Cal Ripken Jr., the PSA 9. I don't know, all this speculation with Hall of Famers, I'm kind of looking just to buy actual Hall of Famers, get a few of those guys here. So compressing a little bit lower here and at the bottom of the range. And so you could see this one. We'll see what happens here. But if it leaks back into $200-300, I think you see a lot of interest right now. Right now it's pretty choppy, but it's again compressing to the downside. So in the short term, again, risk reward sets up favorably. But if it breaks lower, then have a quick hook, and it's hard with these cards. I get it, because they're not super liquid or anything like that. If it gets down to here, that's where I'm going to be super interested. I'm going to be patient on this. If it breaks out, then I miss the bottom. But for now, again with this compression, you could see some more downside on that. So we'll see how that works out. Some football, 2000 Bowman Chrome, Tom Brady in a BGS 9.5, absolutely ripping as of late, but bring it up to an area where there has been selling in the past. So that thin volume, look for it to come back down decently. So currently at 12,000. If it dropped back down to 9 or 8 or something like that, sure wouldn't surprise me on that one. Your risk reward is not set up favorably in the near term. The Bowman Chrome PSA 9. And so a little less expensive option. You can see there's a lot more activity on this one here, like the breakout on the 10. So the 9 has the same thing here. And just a retest, and now coming back up to those previous highs where it's seen some selling in the past year. So not that it's going to drop all the way back down to where it was here, but you could just see a lot of grinding sideways. And with this level of activity, if it busts out, I think I would trust that breakout a lot more than this one right here, where you just had 2 people buying that one out of the range here. So all right, Patrick Mahomes, the Prism Silver 2017. This is the BGS 9.5. I really looked a lot more at BGS's at the 9.5s and the 9s. I like the cases better. I think they do a fine job with the grading and everything like that, if that's the way you want to go. And there's a substantial discount to the PSA stuff here. So top of the range coming off here. So there was a decent amount of buying right in this area here. So if it dropped back down to 3,000 or something like that, wouldn't surprise me. And that's a decent drop from your $900. So we shall see. But top of the range risk reward setting up unfavorably, and now you're kind of in the middle of the range, and it's might be worth it just to watch a little bit here. Sam Darnold, I think it's confirmed that the Jets don't know what the heck to do with quarterbacks. So downtrend is broken, and I seen a little breakout here. So see if he can keep it going in his new digs here. But like that breakout on Darnold. And 1986 tops Steve Young in a PSA 8. Top of the range coming after us a little bit. If you are looking for this card, you're coming into a zone where there has been buying in the past, and the price, 100, 122 bucks. Again, percentage moves could be wild, but you're talking about a couple bucks overall. And Danny Marino laces out here, so trend remains down. Trying to sneak our way out of it a few times, but not happening. So again, minimal downside with the in dollar terms on this one here. So if it dropped another 10 or 15 bucks or something like that, wouldn't surprise me. In percentage terms, that's gonna be a decent move, but 15 bucks is not gonna make or break anybody buying cards these days here. Michael Jordan, PSA 7 this time, so holding on to support here and compressing to the upside. So in the very short term, risk reward is not favorable, but it's minimal downside as we go. So if it breaks down, that's bad. But with these prices compressing up, you may start to see a move up and out of that range for the Jordan cards, which would be a great sign for the rest of the basketball market. LeBron James, kind of the same thing here. Those prices are compressing up. So indecision while you're in this range here, but with the number of buys on that high end card, there's enough interest that you could start to drive it up a bit here. So not a huge population count on that one. So we'll see. Luca does have a high population count, and so it's going to take a ton of buying to overwhelm selling and push out of the range here. So you can see there's just a lot of sideways action here. So we'll see how that plays out. But it is near the bottom of the range. Luca in the optic, PSA 10, compression, sideways action. Who knows what's going to happen here? Market doesn't know. So a lot of indecision, and whenever it gets to the top of the range, it comes off, and you were seeing that again, but it's quickly back into an area where there's been enough buying recently, so a less expensive option for a rookie card here. So we'll see which way it wants to go at some point here. But again, we're coming into basketball season, you may want to, if Jordan breaks out, then it could bring the Luka cards back up as well, and everybody else really. Jason Tatum Prism, the base in a PSA 10 bottom of the range, ripping to the upside here. So we were looking for $400 or $500 here, so it's making its way on that one here. So very light volume. Maybe it comes back into that $400 area in the near term here, but eventually probably to the top of the range. If it comes to $400, you look for this card, then that's definitely your definitely most likely probably could be your spot here. So Trae Young, 2018 Prism PSA 10, trending lower, but breaking out right now. A lot of accumulation in this area here, so could be some decent upside to whatever this is here, 375, 380 or something like that. So from where it's at, so might have to just grind a little bit here, but could certainly see that. But breaking this downtrend is a good sign overall. And Zion Williamson in a sideways action here. So the bottom of the range is $370. The top is right around $440, and so you've got a $70 swing here. So we'll see what happens. But if it's able to bust out and hold it, then tack that $70 onto that $440, and you're looking at a $500 card, $510 or something like that, which is right in this area here. So you could see that on a breakout. But again, high population cards can take a lot of buying to overwhelm the selling and get out of that range. Wrap it up with a couple of hockey here. Connor McDavid downtrend, top of the range coming off just a little bit, but there's some buying in this area here, and the trend is up. So we'll see if it can push itself out of the range, but in the near term, risk reward is slightly unfavorable. Alex LaFreniere, you have this nice basing pattern here, so kind of like LeBron for the most part. Again, most cards are going to travel in the same direction. So you have your resistance and your kind of your rounded bottom here. So we'll see if it can make its way out of the top of that range here, but until it does, it is largely a consolidation. Elias Petterson in the PSA 10 Young Guns as well, kind of the same thing here. Your resistance and breaking its uptrend here, so it might come back down just a bit on that one. But if you're looking for it, this is probably the spot to start looking, because anytime it gets below this area here, these are some prices down. Excuse me, some prices down here, but they're snapped up awfully quickly. So Charizard trending lower, but at the bottom of the range if you're looking for that card. Seems like the spot in the near term at least. And Tiger Woods in a BGS 9.5 stuck in his range as well. When you ever get to the top, you sell it. When you get to the bottom, $120 or so, you buy it. It's getting close to that bottom number there. So that's what I got for you. I hope everybody has a terrific weekend, and we will talk to you later. Bye.